Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's webcast. We are in the office. It's a different view, but not so bad, right? I'm doing something different with the office. You see a picture back there. The problem is that there are like 3 different windows in the office, so I'm going to be backlit somewhere. So I have to figure out a way to work around that. But I have a lot of updates for you today, and I can't wait to bring them to you. I hope everybody's doing well from this weekend. It's such an amazing shift that we had the last couple of days. So I just want to say hi to everybody. And, when we're in the office, we're down to business. So I have it all written out. I have everything structured for you guys. I can't promise that I'm not going to go off on a tangent. That sometimes happens. So we'll see. Okay, so we have the world energy I'm going to go through first, and then we're going to go through the personal energy and then the astrological energy. So Heather's saying, help, I can't take the energies. I know there's a reason for that. I'm going to get into it. So first for the world energies, I feel like there's a going to be a big focus on school systems coming up in the next 5 to 6 weeks. Obviously, that's happening, but I feel like specifically the schools in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut are going to be having the most changes. So I feel on the East Coast, this is going to be more on the East Coast and the Northeast Coast than most of the other areas of the country. I don't know why New York wasn't in here, but I specifically felt Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So it feels like those 3, I feel like almost it's going to be there's decisions have been made. Now there's going to be a big change, and then there's going to be another change. So I see 3 changes in total prior to the start of the school year. August, I feel is going to, when I look at the country, I actually see a map, and then I see areas of red and green and yellow. And so I feel like that's the vision of what I'm being told of where the red areas are. So like I said, the last webcast I was talking about Texas, and obviously that has been, a big issue down there when I saw the red all over Texas and the last few webcasts. But I feel like August is going to be a month of very high numbers by people that are just getting sick of staying in. So it's almost like people are just getting really sick of it. They're going to be trying new stuff, going out, taking risks that they didn't take before. And I feel like people are just stir crazy. They just want to get out. People are going to be going out. And a lot of people are having this mentality right now. Obviously, it's the summertime. This happens. So, but I feel like as the weather gets hotter and toward the very hot part of the summer, that's when I see that map in my mind of the United States, and I'm seeing red all over the place where there wasn't a lot of red before. So if you are feeling that stir craziness and you don't know what to do with yourself, maybe if you go to a park where there's not a lot of people, or you could try to think of something creatively. I also feel like something's coming up with places that have a lot of HVAC issues, like air conditioning, where there's not a lot of ventilation. And I'm finding that I'm feeling that they're going to be figuring out that there's something with ventilation of indoor restaurants, places you go indoors where there's in the height of the summer. Why are all these things happening at the height of the summer when in the winter is when most of these things happen? I feel it's because of the lack of oxygen ventilation and the exhalation, and people breathing in the same air. So there's something that has to do with that's coming up. So August, not a good month to be taking risks. I feel things are gonna actually start to lessen in September. So I also feel government officials scrambling to bring a consistent message. But by the end of August, messages are still touch and go. So I feel like the government is scrambling. They don't really know what to tell us. So I feel like they're going to be telling us things, and then a day or 2 later be retracting them, changing them in a week. So I would say don't get yourself too upset by what you see on the news, because it's going to be changing by the end of August. You're going to find that you got upset over a couple different messages that were relayed in the month of August that were completely opposite of each other, and there you go. So government officials are scrambling to figure out what to do, especially for the fall season. Now, here is the big thing that I'm feeling that's really important. Okay, those of you who are dealing with real estate, whether you're a real estate professional, whether you're buying a home, selling a home, big changes in real estate right now. Seller's market now, I'm picking up the state of New Jersey. Like I said, I see the country, okay, when I look at these visions, and the state of New Jersey is where I see this big, huge change in real estate, okay? So seller's market in New Jersey, specifically during the month of August, where I see it's like bidding wars, craziness, like 30, 40,000 above asking price. People are going crazy. So if you're a realtor and you work with sellers, this is a good time for you. However, if you're a buyer, not a good time. If you're looking for a better deal, I would wait for the cooler weather. But what I want to tell you, sellers in the state of New Jersey, you're going to have these bidding wars every day. You're going to be thinking by the end of August, you're still going to have months to spare on this, and you're not. This is only going to last about a month. This heat wave of real estate boom or bang in New Jersey is what I'm getting. If you're a buyer looking for a better deal, like I said, wait for the cooler months. But sellers, things are going to cool off as quickly as they heat it up. So I see like almost a big fireworks show for real estate in New Jersey. And I feel like it's going to be like crazy. Everybody's wanting to get into a house before the fall. But this is like New Jersey specifically. I'm seeing that these bidding wars are really crazy that are going on, that I see happening. Now be aware that you need to move quickly if you're a seller. Don't be like, oh, the market is in my favor. I have a couple months till the winter. I don't see that happening. This is like a one-off thing. This is like a month long. It's not going to last. So be aware to move quickly, both figuratively and literally. If your house is going on these bidding wars, you're going to have to move out quick. So make sure you have a place to go. I would say if you are going to move to New Jersey, that's a good thing, because I don't see this craziness happening as much in other areas of the Northeast. On the West Coast, I see real estate doing really well right now too. Those moving in pursuit of specific school systems may be disappointed, as these systems could change by the time you move there, meaning that there could be changing county lines, boundary lines, not allowing new students in due to all these restrictions, admissions being crazy. So if you're moving for a school system, make sure you have that in place now rather than, closer to September, because I feel like there's going to be all sorts of restrictions if you're moving for a school system. So that's really important. Sandy, you're asking about Toronto, Canada. I feel like things neutral with Canada right now. I'm not seeing huge spikes in buying, selling. It seems like things are going at a good pace. For some reason, Utah is coming into me today. I don't know. It comes in quickly. It's been coming to me all day. I feel like they're on the brink of doing something that's going to gain national attention, perhaps a new system in place or something that could help other states. I'm not sure where this is coming from, but I am seeing the state of Utah. And something about Bernie Sanders coming back on the surface, but I'm not talking about like for the election. I'm talking about some sort of news about him coming out. I am also seeing changes with trade or taxes or tariffs with China coming back to the way, like, freeing up. So like now there's not as much high cost for things. However, I feel like it's going to be reinstated in 3 months. So once you find that these taxes or tariffs have been lessened, buy whatever you need to buy, because I feel like it's going to actually go back to the way it was, even more so, where things could spike up in terms of cost in a 3-month period from when this comes back down again. So do your buying during the time that it shifts. Okay. So personal. Okay. So before we get to that, a lot of people are asking questions. I'm going to get to some questions. I see people writing some stuff on, let me see what's going on here. Kim says, so much indecisiveness personally and worldly. I feel like I'm constantly waiting for an answer to something. I'm going to get into what's going on with you personally at this time. All right. Rebecca, Olympia, really interested in what you see with schools. I just talked about that. Trying to make a decision for the fall. Like I said, if you're not moving, that's probably a good thing. So you know what kind of school system you're going to be going toward. But like I said, that's going to change 3 times in the state of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut is what I saw. Lisa, I am still doing readings. I'm on a wait list, but you can write us in. I'm starting to go, if there's general intuitive real estate readings, anything where it requires more than 35 minutes, I'm doing 35-minute regular phone sessions, but specific to Zoom, I'm starting to do those for people who need more of life insight and transformational stuff, especially real estate and business stuff. Okay. But please email us if you're looking for that at info@connectionbeyond.com. So on the personal level, we're back on the personal level. I just did the world level. If you're just tuning in, this is really important messages for this week. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Nice to see you here. I just did the world messages, so make sure that you go back and watch this again once it's not live anymore. Now we're on to the personal transitions. So one of the major dimensional shifts hit yesterday and last night. So if you were struggling to find a way to make yourself comfortable and you were sitting on the couch or you were watching TV and you just couldn't get comfortable, and it meant that you actually were feeling the shift in the world vibration. So it's like the caterpillar or the snake shedding its skin. You could actually feel like you couldn't sit in your own skin. Like that means what's going on right now is the earthly body is shifting to the spiritual body. You actually felt the dimensional shift. If that's what was going on yesterday, you just couldn't get comfortable. You were just restless. You were tired, but yet you were awake. It was a real weird feeling. If you're sensitive or intuitive and you felt that, that's what that was about. The actual shift in dimensions happened last night. Okay. So that's really important. Now, what you need to do at this time is you need to stay centered and true to your goals and projects. Okay. So this is a great week for productivity. The more you focus, the better. Going on vacations, trips, and getaways this week would not be a productive use of your time. As the current energy doesn't support these resources, okay? So like I said, a lot of you had just started tuning in. Make sure you watch this from the beginning. I went over the world energies. Now I'm getting into the personal energies. So you want to make good use of the resources of the energy. Remember, we talked about the Mercury Retrograde for the past couple weeks. Now we're into the productivity week. We're just left Mercury Retrograde on the 12th. But that doesn't mean you need to start making decisions right now, because the last 3 days leading out of the retrograde can still be a little bit tricky. Okay, so there's something that's called the shadow of the Mercury Retrograde. And you pretty much, if you want to make big decisions, house, cars, contracts, you probably should wait till the end of the end of July going into the beginning of August. So like I said, productivity week. If you want to go on vacation or do something more relaxing, wait till the week after. You'll get a lot done this week if you stay focused and centered. Now, I did write a newsletter 2 days ago. So if you're not subscribed to the email list, there is a post underneath this video with a link to the newsletter. Make sure that you sign up for it if you want to get the monthly newsletter, mini messages, all that kind of stuff, because I write out an inspirational message once a month. For July, I couldn't write out the monthly energy because the energy is shifting every 3 days. So this is a universal message that I wrote for July. Very important. So if you missed all the other inspirational messages, this is a world inspirational universal message. You want to make sure you check that out. That's part of the blog. You can go to the website, connectionbeyond.com, and it's right on the front page, the first blog post, or it's on the Facebook. You can get it either way, or you can get it through the newsletter. Now, I'm going to be making more videos, okay, because so many shifts are coming up and not all of you are coming in live. And sometimes I'd love to give you guys a time when I come on live every week, but I have to feel the energy. It's kind of like I'm not in a business where it's cut and dry. I have to get the messages, feel the energy, and then give you that weather report or that forecast, that energy update. And that doesn't always come like very consistently. It's kind of the way mediumship works. It kind of comes when it comes. However, usually I'm on around the 3 to 3:30 range. That's usually the time I usually come on. Monday or Tuesday is usually the office. Wednesday or Thursday is the porch. And, more infrequently we have the lounge on the weekends. But those two, the office and the porch, are pretty consistent. I would say the office is usually between 3 and 3:30 on Monday and Tuesday is usually what I'm seeing on average, what that comes out to be. So if you want to make sure you're getting these, it's so important right now with the shifts that you are getting these videos. The best way to do it, to get them instantly, is to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Connection Beyond, all one word. Make sure you're there, you subscribe. As soon as I upload it, after I go on Facebook, it goes right in your inbox. So you can subscribe to the newsletter, but some of those come out a week later. Okay, so that's really important. Now, I'm going to talk about the astrological aspects. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm just going to tell you Mercury retrograde. We went over that the last couple weeks. We are coming out of that. We still have 6 other planets in retrograde, so a lot of the stuff is backward, okay? But we're coming out of the Mercury retrograde. Like I said, wait till August 1st if you can to sign contracts, do any new business, cars, homes, any kind of signed stuff, okay? But what we're dealing with right now is the planet. I don't even know if it's a planet. It's Chiron is going retrograde. So I want to talk about that for a minute. I'm actually pulling it up here. Okay. So Chiron is going to be helping you feel your feelings. This is really important. This is where we're at right now. It's kind of, Chiron is a small celestial body, if you haven't heard of it before, and it's an asteroid and a centaur. You know what a centaur is. An astrological term describing bodies with an erratic orbit. So that's what Chiron is. And Chiron is really known as the wounded healer. So what that means is that, I talked about this last time, it's bringing up old wounds from your past. It's bringing up trauma. It's bringing up wounds that hurt, and it's asking you to heal yourself. So if you're used to putting these things down and distracting yourself and not wanting to remember your childhood, or not wanting to remember a traumatic event that happened, or you have like anxiety or PTSD because of these situations, Chiron is now retrograde. It's causing you to have to go down, feel them, bring them out, and purge them, and finally be free from your chains. Finally let it go. So in mythology, Chiron was a wise, sensitive healer who ironically could not heal himself. So most of you who are going to be affected by Chiron, you guys are the sensitive ones, the strong ones who are helping out other people, but you find yourself dealing with your own stuff that you finally need to heal. Oh, so now Chiron is actually transiting the sign of Aries in retrograde, and we have a chance to look within. So this is personal level. We're being called to confront the feelings we've been pushing down instead of processing. So that's something we need to do. This comes at the perfect time. We've all been holding in tears, emotions, and uncertainties that need to be released. That's really important. Okay, so we're going to go over that. Now, so this is also a good week for selling items. Okay, so if you sell clothes, items on Facebook, you want to sell something like a furniture, great time to sell this week. Making room for the new, because once this shadow rolls out, we're going to be talking about bringing in new energy, manifesting new energy. We're coming into a new manifestation cycle, which you want to make sure you're on the list for the manifestation course that I'm doing once we roll it out. Okay, I'm only going to roll it out during a high manifestation period. It's going to be an open and closed enrollment. If you want to be a part of that, in the description of this video, you could just put your email so that you will be notified when that class is coming up. Okay, but this will be a time where we're going to be in a high manifestation cycle to go to that next level for yourself, whether it be business, your love life, anything you want to manifest next. We're going to do that during the high manifestation cycle that's coming. So now I'm going to go over the astrological signs and what this is a good week for. So this is going to be a good week for Aries, Leo, and Gemini. Just all around good week. You're going to have good things happen, good things coming. I'm not saying nothing's going to go wrong because we're in all these retrogrades, but on a whole, you're going to have a good week. Frustrating week. I'm sorry, Scorpios. You're going to just feel like you want things to go a certain way. You have a tendency to like to plan it, to know what's coming. If you're at point A, you like to know where the bridge is to point B, or you're not going because you don't like uncertainty. You don't like big surprise. I mean, you like surprises, like a surprise party, but you don't like surprises where you're not in control. So this week, there's going to be a lot of like going with the flow and plans that are going to change last minute and shift. And the way you're going to be more successful is if you go along with them. So this is going to be a productive week for some of the earth signs, Capricorn and Taurus. And for those Libras, usually they're a little ADD all over the place. Very productive week for Libra. Take that opportunity, Libra, because usually you're up in the clouds. Week of crazy love. Aquarius, Gemini. Crazy love sometimes doesn't mean good. Crazy love means you could be crazy or attracted to crazy people, or crazy in love, but not with the best type of crazy, if you know what I'm saying. So this could go either way. I feel with the Aquarians, they fall crazy in love because they're very intense signs. But then all of a sudden, somebody eats the wrong way and they're like turned off and they're like done. But they could be crazy in love as long as they have that mental challenge. They're mentally stimulated, the Aquarians. Gemini, I feel like the crazy love this week for you guys is going to be like about the crazies. Okay, so if you're attracted to some toxic people or you find yourself wanting to put yourself in situations that aren't good for you, this is a week of crazy love. And sometimes crazy love, those fireworks could turn to ashes. So you need to be very careful this week, Gemini. Week of moving too far in the past, of really focusing on the past and not in a good way, Cancer and Virgo. Virgos, you need to be very careful because your perfectionistic tendencies, your critical tendencies, you're criticizing yourself about how you've lived in the past, what happened into the past, okay? So you really need to be very aware of that, okay? Cancer and Virgo. Cancer is more on the emotional end, and Virgo is more on the perfectionistic end, okay? Love week, big love week, Leos. Good for your love. If you want to get engaged, or if you're thinking about buying a ring, if you're a guy, or you're thinking about making a big commitment, big love week for you. This is really, really good. So, now this is only just, guys, don't get all freaked out, okay? This is only just stuff I was picking up. I'm not an astrologer, but I was picking up these messages. I'm giving them to you. Doesn't mean every single Virgo is going to be like this. Some of you, if you haven't heard what I talked about with your sign, you need to go back and listen to it again. But I made sure that every sign was included in this, because sometimes I just go over, different signs. But just, this is like, hey, if you're going through this, this is what might happen. But it doesn't mean that 100% of every Virgo in the whole entire world is going to be getting critical of themselves. But see, already, Carol, see, Virgo, oh no, you're thinking something's wrong with you. That's a Virgo thing, but you're okay. Carol, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're a good thing. Oh, you know what? Kim, you're right. I did have it written down. I didn't mention it. I skipped over you, Pisces. I'm sorry. Pisces, I don't know if you want me to talk about it or not. This is the week of confusion for you, fantasy versus reality, for Pisces. I did go over Capricorn, Kim. For Taurus and Capricorn, it was a productive week. Taurus, Capricorn, and Libra, went over that. So this is a work week. If you put your focus on productivity, this is the best time for you to do that this week, and Libra. For Pisces, this is the week of confusion for you, Pisces. Fantasy versus reality. Sometimes you have your head in the clouds, okay? And you sometimes go in a fantasy world, and at this point you have to be down, grounded into your center of what's really real. There's a tendency to kind of get confused because your fantasy and your reality is kind of clashing. So somebody just mentioned Sagittarius, and okay, everybody that's asking me, you have to just go back and listen to it, okay? Because I went over everybody's except for Sagittarius. I'm getting to that, but everybody else's signs is mentioned. So once this is over, just go back and watch it again. It's nothing crazy. I would more focus on the world and personal messages. This is just little things that I wanted to add to the webcast because I thought it was interesting that I was getting these messages, but it's not anything crazy. So, but Sagittarius this week, I know we've talked about this before. This is the week of irritation for Sagittarians because, like I said, with Scorpios are feeling it emotionally, Sagittarians just want to get in action. And when their plans don't kind of fall through, they're just, if you're friends with a Sagittarius this week, okay, be prepared that they're just going to dick you over. If you have plans with them, be prepared that they're just going to have something else come up and they're not going to be dependable this week, okay? You Sagittarius are going to be irritated all over the place trying to resolve issues. So just don't get mad at your Sagittarius friend or partner because you know how they are with their freedom, okay? So everybody's sign has been mentioned. if you just tuning in, you're just going to have to watch it once it's done. Okay, because I went over the ones that I felt already. So that's about it. I'm going to go and see if there's any questions I have to answer. And otherwise, pay attention to that world and personal messages that I went into. You know, the office is very structured. I actually write everything down. I actually write everything down before I do the office, but then I kind of go off on tangents, and I don't want to, because on the porch I go off on tangents, and on the lounge, like, it's just kind of channeled information, but this is pretty cut and dry. So this is just something that came to me today that, like I said, I'm not an astrologer. You want a real astrology reading, go to an astrologer. I'm just getting stuff about the signs this week. I don't know. If it relates to you, great. It's kind of like a Cosmopolitan article or something. But the other stuff I do is pretty in-depth. So go to the beginning and especially pay attention to the personal messages, okay? Doesn't mean Sagittarians are bad, guys. If you're Sagittarius, I love you all. You're so much fun. You're the funniest people in the world. But you're just not going to be dependable this week. You're going to be all over the place. And you're going to be irritated by the things you can't resolve. A lot of times you get impatient. You want to resolve things. You get angry. You say things. Sagittarius don't have an edit button or a filter. They just say what's on their mind. Okay? I'm not a Sagittarius, but my Mercury, if you get your whole chart done, you'll see that you're not just one sign. You're like 20 different signs. But my Mercury, which is the way I communicate, is in the sign of Sagittarius, which means that I just say stuff. And sometimes it offends people. I don't know what to do about that. I try to be discerning, but it just comes out of my mouth. You know, I just kind of say stuff. So anyway, I'm so glad you guys tuned in. And like I said, I'm not a Sagittarius, but I think like one sometimes. All in all, thank God Mercury's out of retrograde. It's been a crazy couple weeks. But remember, you just got to wait another 2 weeks before making any major decisions. And I'm so glad you guys are all here. I hope to join myself. I hope that you guys will come and visit me on the porch in the middle of the week. And I hope to bring out a lounge sometime soon, because they just get weird. And we focus on like love questions and ridiculous love questions and lifestyle questions. And I have like usually jazz in the background and I do weird stuff. But Monday's the office, and this is where we get down to business about your forecast for the week. So very important. And what I found is interesting is clients will call me and they're like, oh, I just love the office. I can't really relate to the lounge, but I love the office. And some people are like, I love the porch. I didn't think that people had their like favorite themes. It was just because we were in the pandemic and I really couldn't go anywhere to create any sets for you. So I just started creating themes in my own house. And so I guess people really love certain ones, don't like other ones. Some people like all of them. It's just interesting to me that the people who like one don't like the other, and the people who like the other don't like the other one. But I'm glad that everybody likes something. So that's a really good thing. Yeah, so I try to condense all my information for you today. I hope you got all of that. It's a lot of information. Hope it made sense to you. And I hope to see you guys very soon, hopefully midweek. So like I said, move forward on all that productivity, because this is a week where you can get things done and you'll be proud of yourself by the end of the week that you got so much accomplished. So I will see you midweek for the porch. And remember to subscribe to Instagram, Marisa and to YouTube, Connection Beyond, if you want these videos to get into your inbox the day they come out. And on Instagram, I do different things if you're not aware of that. It's more about recipes and architecture and design. I do all sorts of different things. I don't put everything the same on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It's all different. So I try to keep you guys on your toes. All right. I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.